works good with my schedule. But in the evening, this is where I start to get hungry and too tired to cook, and I just get something cheap, not cheap, expensive, but tasty.
Thank you for sharing that. We will be talking today a little bit deeper on this meal timing, and I think it's going to be very useful for you. Specifically, today we are talking about the effects on the environment and how maybe this relocation changes the way how we live, the way how we experience some beliefs, even during the belief that we have during the travel as well, the self-efficacy that Asana is also going to share. Some nutritional pillars, I think, that are going to be also very useful for you and for everybody who is watching this report as well. Yeah, also we started the record a little bit later, so we wanted to give you a warm welcome, and yeah, let's continue.
I also about what Axana sent, the little homework, I also found out the 3 main triggers that pushes me to eat bad. The first one is the stress. It can be because I had a hard time in work, or maybe I was out and socializing and something didn't went smoothly, so I feel confused. And at night, I would probably go eat something. I mean, after a hand, I usually go eat something to just feel better. The other one is, I call it ricochet. I fail at one of my principle, let's say, and I feel like, okay, I opened the door, I failed everything. I'm like in a zone where, okay, no, because I failed one thing, everything else can fail, and I feel like it's okay. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me to keep trying to follow my principles, because one failed, I can just keep failing the others. And the last one is when I feel good. Sometimes it feels just easy to eat a junk food, because it's like, okay, I don't know. It's like the restrictions are getting low. The restrictions to like follow my good habits are getting low. I feel good. I want to keep. I mean, it's like a continuation of this good mood, and it's easier to get something to eat, and then yeah, I eat something bad.
Wow, I think thank you for that, Sapna. I think you have been doing a very insightful, and those especially this one that you said that once I fail one, then I want to fail the rest. Like it's like a domino effect, so to say. I think Asana is gonna give you some ideas also about this, and I think it's going to be very useful in this aspect as well for you guys as well who are watching the record.
Yeah, for sure. Today we're gonna also touch upon the last things, and great, Sotne, that you shared your triggers. So you kind of still had it, I guess, somewhere in subconscious, just the triggers, to keep an eye on the triggers, because like filling in the entire table was not the main goal. The main goal was to catch yourself in the act and to start noticing. It's always the first step, to start noticing what are your triggers, and then after you identified it today, you can just see what is your usual reaction, and then think about the more productive reaction and how you want to reward yourself. So yeah, I guess the most important part of the homework is done, and I guess Daniela, in the future we could maybe make some printable versions of this, so you just put a message on the fridge or somewhere you could see it clearly so you don't forget about it. And like just a scale, not without all of this information, just a scale, or just like what is my trigger. I think that could certainly. What do you think? Will it be like more effective to have printable versions with so simple just one thing?
I have to try. I can't answer. No, right now, I feel like no, because it's honestly it's easy to feel it in the computer. But maybe, but I didn't print, and I didn't. I felt in the last, not in the last minute, but I felt it today. So maybe have it. If I had it printed out, it would have been easier. I don't know. I have to try.
Sure.
I feel like
Trying
this is
an
really
experiment.
crazy.
Sure. Try an
I could try
experiment.
that definitely.
Anyways, I'm just going to remind you that it's not going to be a lecture, and we encourage polite discussions, respect, and well, if you are enjoying it, you can tag us in Instagram. That would be awesome. And here are our Instagrams. Anyways, what do you think is the environment in psychology?
Like physical environment where I live, what do I have in my surroundings? Yeah, like physical, I don't know. Like I know, yeah.
Yeah, you are already like telling the types of environment, and yes, physical environment is one of the types. But what do you think are the others?
Oh, I'm like friends, maybe emotional environment, like friend who I spend time with.
Yeah, like
Social environment.
Yeah, social for sure. Well, you're right. It's our surroundings and conditions in which we live or operate, or in which activity takes place. So, as you can see, it's physical. What physical items are we surrounding ourselves with? Also, nowadays, digital environment became a thing. And what information do you consume on social media, on YouTube, or wherever in your digital environment? It is also affecting your choices, including the food choices. Social environment, as you certainly also mentioned, is your friends. What do your friends eat? What do they eat? What may be your social groups? What do they treat you like? Offer, do you want some sweets and a tea, or they offer you something else?
Let's do
Also-
exercise.
Yeah. Well, also temporal or temporary. Basically, it is your current, it could be like current conditions, like your job or something, like what are you doing? And cognitive, it's about what's here, what's in your brains, what are your beliefs about this. And sensory, it is about what you can feel, smell with all your senses. For example, if you live like on the next floor of a grocery store or a bakery, and it always gets into your, it's just one time I lived like that with a bakery underneath and like the smells.
Or nearby a
So,
park as well.
Yeah, or maybe you live with a husband or a wife and or a roommate, and they cook always something, and it is constantly like in your reach. So yeah, these are the surroundings and conditions that affect us. How do you think, what kinds of environment affect you the most out of this?
What's in my mind, I think. I don't think it's social environment, physical environment either. It's very simple, and I don't have big triggers. I think it's my mind, but not in a way like I don't. It's not like I have ideas that push me to eat bad stuff. No, it's more like it doesn't fit in any of what you said, I think, but it's just because I feel like I just failed to, or I'm not strong enough to, but I don't feel like the environment is because of the environment that I eat badly.
Yeah.
None of these.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, the different kinds of environment could affect you differently, but of course, like I highlighted this cognitive thing that, as you mentioned as well, and let's talk about that. And I think I know what exactly you mean with the cognitive thing. Hi, Mundia.
Hi, Lydia. Welcome.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much for having me here.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. We're talking about the environment, how different kinds of environment could affect our eating habits. And we're covering the cognitive one in case of limiting beliefs. Have you ever heard of them, Mundia Tsotni? No? Okay.
Kind of. Yes.
Okay.
Kind of.
Okay, let's remind ourselves of that. Basically, limiting beliefs are negative thoughts or assumptions about either oneself or people around us or the world itself. For example, the world is unfair, people on default don't like me, so I have to, let's say, overcompensate for people to like me. So I will do whatever, or maybe I will give up on them. So basically, I'm just giving you examples of different limiting beliefs in psychology in general that people could have, or maybe it is a belief not about people or the world, or maybe it is about ourselves. Like, I am not enough, I'm a failure, I'm a loser, something along the lines of this. So yeah, these beliefs restrict our potential and prevent individuals from pursuing goals, taking risks, fully realizing their capabilities. And in schema therapy, it is, let's say, one wave of the cognitive behavioral therapy. It was classified all the beliefs into, well, roughly speaking, of course, so into some schemas on main 5 needs that we all have. For example, we have a need for security, stability, care, protection. So there could be several schemas like emotional deprivation, and the limiting beliefs could sound like food is the only thing that comforts me, nothing else really helps. So while I am like talking about them, I want you to try to look into yourself and identify, do I believe in this? Or like abandonment and instability. I can't rely on anything stable. Everything keeps changing, so why even try? Mistrust and abuse. My body will betray me. I can't trust my hunger or cravings. Mundia Tsotni, do you think there are any limiting beliefs like that? Do you have?
I don't. None of these.
I don't know if I'm in the line. Hello,
What?
can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm in the line. Just, I think also in that area where you feel like some certain kind of food will make you fat and you tend to avoid them. I don't know if I'm in the same line with you, with your explanation.
Okay, thanks for sharing. Anyways, there will be 5 main needs, so you could look through them. So the second one is about autonomy, competence, and identity. So basically, sense of self. The schema could be failure / incompetent. I can't stay consistent. I always fail with habits. I'm a failure. It could be like I am incapable of doing this X days in a row or keeping it consistent. Dependence and incompetence. I need a perfect plan to eat properly. I can't do this on my own, and other things. Vulnerability. If I don't control it, everything will fall apart. I can't relax around food. But actually, about autonomy, there could be many more beliefs. These are just my examples, but like they could be even about defectiveness or shame, like there's something wrong with me, I don't have willpower, other people can handle this, but I cannot. I always mess up with food, or like I can't do this consistently. Anyways, do you feel like there is some kind of limiting belief in you? Like you believe in some of these things?
Yes, so sometimes I do, when there are times whereby I want to lose weight, and I will start with maybe, let's say, eating some kind of foods. But again, as time goes on, I fail like to forge ahead. Let's say maybe 2 weeks starting that journey, I stop at the end of the before I even achieve my goal. So I think I do have those limiting factors.
Yeah, identifying them is always the first step. And of course, there is an entire process, and it's just like one boot camp, not a full-on therapy session. But yeah, thank you for sharing. And it is always awareness is always the first step. Certainly, what about you?
Yeah, these some of these talk to me more. The failure one, I don't tell to myself I can't stay consistent, but it is what it happens. Like I never, I really can't stay consistent. But it's not like I tell to I don't. This is I'm a little confused. I don't tell to myself like, hey, I can't do it. I think I can do it. I think I have what it takes to do it, but something is holding me back, but I don't know what. And loss of control kind of speaks to me too, but maybe in a different way for me. If I don't control what I'm eating, if I don't decide that a specific meal and I eat something that is not in my schedule, then for me it's a failure. For example, I allow myself sometimes, I can allow myself to eat junk food if it's my decision and it fits like in my logic, then it's okay. I don't feel like I failed. But when it happens because it's out of control, then it's like I messed up something. Yeah, that's.
I understand. I will first tell you about some other limiting beliefs that could occur, and then we will try to basically define them. Do the first few steps. Okay. The third need is freedom to express needs and emotions, and you could think like it shouldn't feel this, better to ignore emotions. I don't have time to prepare for proper meals. My needs can wait, or something along the lines of that. And the others are about spontaneity and play, or the absence of them, basically. So you have this need, but maybe you think if it is not perfect, it doesn't count. I must always eat clean. Or I was weak for eating that, I should punish myself. Or maybe it could be about realistic limits and self-control. I can't resist cravings. I always give in. I deserve to eat whatever I want. I don't want any limits. I should eat like others. I don't want to stand out. Nothing works anyway. It's too hard in my situation. And hello and welcome, Miser. Yeah. So do you think you have some of these limiting beliefs around food? Or maybe around perfection? If it's not perfect, it doesn't count. Or about your taste?
No, for me, no, I don't think the problem is from negative thinking. Else.
Yeah, actually, when you told me, like, shared your some of your limiting beliefs, I thought, like, what the first things that could help you really identify what are your personal limiting beliefs that hold you back is to think about the thoughts, because thoughts are like a gateway to our beliefs. Whatever you believe in, whatever beliefs you have, the thoughts are the first, like, surface level things you could think about. You could kind of catch yourself thinking, and then by asking some questions, you can get to your belief. Whatever you tell yourself, maybe it is self-criticism or something, we could first track the thoughts and then get to your beliefs, because it's like it's a really deeper topic that really affects us a lot. So yeah, it's just an answer to you, Sotni. And I guess Daniela could continue sharing the slides and tell you more about how exactly to improve your eating habits and environment.
Okay, yeah, sure. I can share my screen. Just okay. Can you see my screen?
It is
No,
low.
yeah.
You can see it now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, super. Well, first of all, guys, if you want to write down or have any question, remember it's in the down part of the screen. You can see either the raise hand or the comments, and you can share there at any time. Okay. Okay. So now we're gonna talk about energy adequacy as basic regulation. Normally, this tends to be the base or the root of many of the reason why we could maybe overeat or feel that we have maybe these physical sensations of anxiety or experiences associated with hunger or lack of hunger sometimes as well. So first, I would like to know what means for you guys. Let me see here. What means a healthy diet? Mohammed, can you turn on your mic and share what means a healthy diet for you? Otherwise, we could hear Mundia as well. You can remember, you can, oh, I see. Okay, we can hear you now, Mohammed.
So, healthy diet, I think it should include like proteins, carbs, and fats. It should include those macronutrients as well as the micronutrients like vitamins and minerals. But also maybe every once in a while, to eat something that doesn't have to be necessarily, but usually craved, like a piece of cake or something. So deprivation maybe could be taken into account.
Thank you, Mohammed, for that perspective. Sadne, what is a healthy diet for you?
I don't have any technical answer to that. For me, it's anything that isn't processed and anything that is made by my choice. So if I choose to cook something that you as a professional would think it's not healthy, as long as I decided to put it in my diet, I will feel like it's okay. It's kind of healthy.
Trusting in what your professional is guiding you through, and okay, that's also valid. Okay, I think this is a very controversial topic nowadays because, well, like for some people, a healthy diet requires no carbs, and for some others, a healthy diet requires eating no amount of junk food, as Mohammed just shared, that maybe every once in a while, so you keep yourself more balanced, so to say. But I think this concept of healthy eating, it can be very blurry if we don't put a concept into it. So this concept guides us towards how we achieve a healthy diet. The thing is that for sure we all are different and we all have different requirements, so we need to take that into account. And as Mohammed was, as Sotner was mentioning in the beginning, or before, when we eat, we need to make sure that we eat with wisdom. When I say wisdom, I mean having the knowledge, like all the scientific information, so to say, but also have the interception or the feeling myself. So in this unity or union of these I know and I feel resides the wisdom of eating healthy. Okay, I want you guys to remember this, because sometimes some people, despite some maybe scientific truth, they could feel that maybe their body respond different to what they are told they have to eat, or don't, or probably don't. So I want you guys to keep yourself aware of this. Okay, so according to different associations, international associations, there are different meanings or concepts of healthy eating. I know this can sound confusing, but guys, remain with me, please. Here, I'm gonna show you the one that I consider is the one that includes all of them, so to say. And is the Food and Administration Organization of FAO, FAO. Okay, so the core principles of a healthy diet, according to this organization, are the 4 principles that we are seeing in the screen. Can you read them, Sotne, please?
Just the names of the principles?
Yeah, just the names.
Yeah, adequacy, balance, moderation, and diversity.
Okay, thank you so much. And I want to dive in a little bit in each of them. Okay, so the first one, I'm sorry. Okay, the first one, adequacy. It's basically consuming enough nutrients to prevent deficiencies. But when we say enough nutrients, what that means is not the same for someone who maybe is in pregnancy, or someone who lives under constant stress as well, or it's dealing with maybe depression, or someone who works out a lot, or uses a lot of calories. So adequacy needs to integrate who you are and what are your conditions. What is your environment? Your internal environment, your external environment. And when we talk about nutrients, I want to show you this idea of macro and micronutrients that we probably have here before. When we talk about macro, we talk about big molecules. Normally, they are large molecules, carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, as Mohammed mentioned before. And the main difference between the macro and micro is that the micro doesn't provide energy, but the macros does. Okay, and this is the main difference. Also, there are smaller molecules, and we find in the micro the vitamins, minerals, and some other small elements as well. But this so far is the base of the adequacy. Are we following through? Or any questions about this? So far, we're good. Okay, super. Then I want to show you a little bit on let me show you here. Okay, on the functions of all these nutrients. Okay, so normally when we talk about foods that provides energy, we refer to carbohydrates, that is fast energy, cereals, tubers, roots, any kind of well, in Colombia we have also different types of bananas which are not necessarily a fruit, and plantain, I think it's better translated as well. Legumes and fruit also provides energy because they also have carbohydrates. We also have the fats, which is a slower absorption energy. And for the forming foods, we have the animal proteins and vegetables. Basically, when we talk about forming foods, it's foods that help to form in any kind of a structure in our body. We need them like for even transportation, like hemoglobin is it's a type of protein in the body that transport the oxygen through the body. And we also have the regulatory foods, which are basically vitamins and minerals. Okay, we find these regulatory foods in all the fruits, vegetables. We can even find them in the rest of fruits as well, but normally they are richer, or the vegetables normally contains a higher amount of them, usually. Okay, but there are some foods like proteins that maybe contain more vitamin B2, B12, sorry. So there are some exceptions. Okay, there are different guidelines on how a healthy plate should look. And I wanted to show you one of the plates, the international plates, that I consider is the most complete one, which is the Canada's Food Guide, which basically it's very similar to the diabetes plate, which recommends people to eat half of the plate made out of or conformed by vegetables, a quarter of a protein source, and a quarter of a grain or carbohydrate. Okay. I also recommend for the people I work with, because I understand also the impact of the insulin in the stability and energy stability, and is normally people tend to mix all different carbs. It's not that carbs are bad. We're not classifying morally any any kind of food. We don't classify morally the food. We just speak about is more nutritious or is more tasty. Okay, I want you guys to remember these two concepts in after. If you want to remember something about the nutritional part today, please this the nutrition and tasty part. Okay, so what I was showing you before is that this plate, normally people think that if you put more food, if you put more things, it's better, but not necessarily. Okay, you can for sure have your carbs, but the recommendation I always give is if you want to have a more stable insulin or glucose in your blood, which will impact in your energy, is trying just one type of carb per meal. Okay, and avoiding like this mixing of different types of carbs in the same meal. So far, are we following? Or any question?
What is wrong with the first top picture? I don't get it.
Okay, so normally when we ingest different types of carbs in the body, there are different shots of insulin, which means that we need to, the body sends a signal for the body to absorb all these type of glucose that contains these carbs. And yeah, so there are different researches that demonstrate or shows that when people ingest different type of carbohydrates, the impact on the glucose is higher and the impact on the insulin is higher as well. So it's not the carb is bad. If you crave for something like this once in a while, with moderation, we're going to talk about this. With moderation, we for sure can have them, enjoy it, and we will talk a little bit more on this. But the ideal or my advice to you, if you want to have a more stable energy along the day or throughout the day, is to have one carb per meal. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. As Anna also mentioned here, to reduce the insulin spikes, etc. Okay, let's continue. Then, don't associate the eggs with like it's wrong or it's a bad food. No, we are just focusing on how to reduce these insulin spikes that will affect in the long term our energy stability. Okay. And okay, so I was mentioning this before, which take us to the third concept, which is moderation. Before we were talking about, let me show you here. Sorry. Okay, I noticed that there was a mistake here, but we're talking about moderation now, which means basically trying to eat, as Mohammed mentioned, we try to eat or limit some harmful nutrients or foods like sugar, sodium, saturated fats as well. And I normally tend to recommend this 80-20 law. Have you ever heard about it?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, so Ness says yes. Okay, and what this means is basically we have unprocessed foods like, as you said, like avocados, like pork, chicken, all these things that we know that if they have a label, probably the ingredients will say just one ingredient. Okay, then we have the processed foods, which then it's normally they have add some salt, oil, or sugar to this natural product, and or maybe make any process to the food. And then we have the high processed food, okay, which are the, as you see here, like burger, for instance. And okay, so my idea here with this picture that I wanted to show you is we try to 80% eat the majority of these unprocessed foods, which are the most nutritious ones. And for this 20%, we have some space for this tasty type of foods, okay? Remember, here we're not talking about bad food and good food. No, we're talking about more nutritious food and more tasty food, okay? This will help us also with the belief system that we have associating with the actions that we take. And this is the reason why also we don't associate the food with moral standards. Okay, then I wanted to show you these recommendations from the FAO, which are minus 10% of sugar daily. I would also say the OMS also says, or the World Health Organization says minus 5%. So you can go from 5 to 10% ish. If you don't need the sugar, you don't have to add it in your diet. This is not like you have to have sugar in your diet. We don't really need sugar in our diet, but sodium we do need actually. And the recommendation is minus 2,000 milligrams per day, which is approximately a spoon of a small spoon, teaspoon.
Yeah.
And also there could be some changes here, because if you are, or variations, if you are practice any kind of a sport, if you're in a maybe warmer city, this could also change. You would probably need to have more sodium. And today we're still studying these recommendations. The idea is that for the intake, general population, try to keep it under this amount. And for saturated fat, minus also under the 10% of the daily calories. And here is not mentioned, but the trans fats, which you probably see them in labels as well, it's 0. Okay, my advice is 0. This is the only nutrient that I would always tell you avoid, because it's actually harmful, and it's very normally very present in the high processed foods, like ready to eat pizza, for instance, and things like that. If we can avoid it, it's much more better. Okay, if we want to have an ice cream, for instance, and if we have 2 options, like an ice cream with trans fats and ice cream without, let's go for the one without. Okay. Okay. And diversity. When we talk about diversity, here we just basically want to eat the whole rainbow. Think about the rainbow, right? And yeah, include this in your diet. Like, try to include all the colors in your diet. Ideally, try to bring some variety with the proteins, the carbs. Maybe if you are in a different city, so then I will give you the for you to open the mic in a minute. But yeah, it's basically to be open to try new things. If you're traveling to a new city, traveling to a new country, why not to try some of the foods that are local? And this also could impact in the sustainability as well, when we try to include the local type of foods. And okay, Sadne, I would like to hear you. You can open your mic.
I didn't get the last thing that you said we should avoid at all costs. What was it? I didn't get it.
Trans fats. Trans. Trans. Trans fats. Yeah, exactly. Those are the fats that normally we will see in the label. I always suggest people to be friends, be friend with the labels, because that's the only way. If we have this 20%, because ideally the 80% doesn't come with a label, right? If you purchase, I don't know, avocado, banana, you probably don't have a label, right? But if you, in this 20%, if you're gonna get something with a label, make sure that this label doesn't contain any kind of trans fats, okay? I noticed that is not here, but I want to talk about this a little bit, and it's the balance. When we talk about a balanced diet, it's basically I intake the energy I require. There are three types of balance. There is negative balance, which means I eat less than what I have to. Therefore, I'm gonna get skinnier, like I'm gonna lose weight, so to say. Or not only lose weight, I could even be my mind could be affected, like the way my mind functions. But there is something very interesting here. There are some studies done in this aspect of calories, like which is the most optimal amount of calories for the brain to function. And there is something very curious here, which is if you overeat, or if you have more calories than what you require, which is a neutral neutral intake, I consume the same that I spend. If you consume more, which is a positive type of balance, then you feel this brain fog, this feeling of like you overeat, basically. So if you guys want to use your brain in the most optimal way, I always suggest this point where it's between your neutral and a little bit less of your neutral. And just because this is like the study, what the finding of the studies. And if you try it, for sure, it's better you do it with a professional under a consultation, because we're making sure in specifically how much you need and how much will not affect you without being harmful as well. Any question so far? I haven't seen the comments. Any questions so far in the comments? Okay, no questions. We're good. Okay, then let's go to meal timing. And this is something that Sotner was mentioning at the beginning. So I think it's going to be very useful for you guys. Mohammed, can you read this question, please? You can turn on your mic.
Okay, yeah. Do you think it's better fasting every other day or eating at the same time every day?
What do you think, Mohammed?
I think eating at the same time every day is very consistent, very healthy, but not everyone can do it, I think.
Thank you. What do you think, Sadna?
Yeah, I agree with Mazer. I think that it's a good, it builds habit, and yeah, I think it's best to do.
Okay, let's see. So when we talk about hunger, we need to remember that we talked a little bit about this in the last session. there are different reasons why we can have hunger, and this will impact in the meal timing for sure. Either if we decide to fast, or decide to have a regular eating. Many people think that it's better to fast every other day, or normally fast in the morning and then start eating in the after midday. And I want to clarify this first in order to get there, okay? So remember that the hunger has some biopsychosocial needs. So it could be influenced by hormones, how our insulin is working, how our cortisol is working. If we have high cortisol, we probably are under high stress, and our hunger is gonna decrease. The sleep deprivation normally, quite physiologically, the sleep deprivation makes us be more hunger or feel more hunger. So if we didn't sleep well or didn't sleep enough, we probably will experience an increase on the needs of calories. Emotional load as well, as we mentioned last session as well. And also there is a ghost restriction, which is when we have been doing dieting, or what we consider this rebound effect, when we have some belief system that makes us, or makes us think, or have a relationship with the food where we feel like scared or afraid of eating something because of getting fat, or and then we get into this cycle, which is dieting, then overeating, and this eternal cycle as well that could impact in the way how we experience the hunger or not. So the meal rhythm and a rigid schedule, it's important. It's two important concepts here, because normally when we have a rigid schedule, as Sotne mentioned in the beginning, like if I don't eat at this exact time, I feel that everything just goes chaotic. And the idea here is that we have more like a meal rhythm instead of a rigid schedule, which is more like a dieting kind of type of eating. Like I have to eat at 12, and if I don't eat at 12, then everything gets out of control, and I will just eat junk food the rest of the day. But here, as much as in life in general, having some flexibility, it's also important. So we can keep regulated, or we can help our body to regulate better. So what we advise to you guys here is that we have a predictability window, which means, okay, between I don't know, 12 and 3, I normally eat. Ideally, if I can have this on my schedule, that's much more better. But I know that especially if we're traveling or changing schedules frequently, I know that this is a challenge. For myself, because I'm an expat myself, so I don't really understand what this means. But let's try to eat around midday, like if it's lunch for sure. I know that in Georgia it's curious, because you start the day there like at 12 a.m. But yeah, let's try to keep some flexibility. If we can try to keep this window shorter, that's better as well. If we can keep it between 30 minutes, 1 hour, that's much more better as well. And for sure, think about how I feel. Think about in which level of the scale are you? Don't forget that. So in order to troubleshoot this biology of or feeling that we are more regulated, we need to take into account 3 things that are in the screen. Sodne, can you read first the evening out of control, please?
The content.
Yeah, the
Or-
content.
It's usually not a lack of discipline at 8 p.m. It's a lack of fuel at 1 p.m.
Okay, thank you. So this is a very, very frequent thing. People think that normally they like they lack discipline because they had all the chips in the night. But normally the people doesn't ask themselves, how was my diet during the day? Like how my diet during the day impacted my decisions in the night. And this also happens with the sleep. And I always mention this, the sleep is the basis of the regulation. And if we expect to have more energy throughout the day, we need to take into account how did we sleep the night before. Okay, then we have the afternoon energy crash. We need then to take a look to the composition of the meal. Is this a meal that it's a complete meal? It includes all the nutrients, macro and micro. How is the balance of this food? I'm eating more maybe protein and avoiding the carbs, and these also could impact in our energy. And the low appetite due to stress. Mohammed, can you read this one, please? You have the mic up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which one?
Here, below low appetite due to stress.
Okay. Low appetite, due to stress. Don't skip. Shift to liquid or soft meals, smoothies or soups that combine protein and carbs.
Thank you, Mohammed. Here, basically, is sometimes when we are under stress or under maybe schedules that change a lot, then my suggestion is trying to have maybe either could be a protein powder that you can make like a shake at home. You can add some oats, for instance, or if you don't want to have this protein powder, maybe you can make yourself a smoothie with maybe with some fruits, vegetables, or you could have even snacks that are like nuts or nuts and a fruit, easy to access. Because if we wait until night and we just avoid eating because of all the stress, we normally tend to take decisions that are not nutritious but more tasty. Also because of this raise of cortisol, our body craves this dopamine and also this serotonin to relax our body. So if we prevent to get to this point, it's much more better for our regulation. Okay, then why the immunity and the energy as much as the mood changes or drops during the travel? Sodne, do you think inflammation is always evident?
What do you mean by inflammation?
Okay, that's a good question. What do you think is inflammation?
It sounds like something that hurts. Inflammation. I mean, it's kind of a disease. I don't know, because it's happening in your stomach. I don't know.
It's okay, don't worry. Okay, let's take that as a I don't know. Then let's see. Mohammed, what do you think? Mohammed, you have your mic up. I don't know if Mohammed is writing in the
Like
comment.
hyper. Hypersensitivity, kind of a symptom. Hypersensitivity.
Do you think it's always evident, the inflammation, like feeling like this kind of concept? It's always evident.
It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to.
Interesting. Thank you, Mohammed. Okay, let's see. So when I mention inflammation, I want you guys to know that normally we think it's a bad thing, but normally inflammation, it's a very complex thing. It's a very complex topic, but I want you guys to have this clarity on it could be beneficial as well for us. But normally when we have any injury or infection, the body, which it's considered like the current environment, so to say, when we face any kind of chronic stress, for instance, this could be also considered a type of inflammation. Then inflammation has two types or two processes. Okay, the pro-inflammation, which is like the firefighters start working, like they notice, oh, there is something going wrong. Okay, maybe if you do sports, like if you train hard or if you did a lot of weight, there is a break in the fibers of the muscles, and this is also considered a type of injury, so to say. And then we have the anti-inflammatory process, which is basically the repair. So we have the a stimulation for repairing, and we have the actually repair, which is the anti-inflammatory. When we talk about anti-inflammatory diet or anti-inflammatory habits, we think about repairing. Why? Because as much as the trauma, and Asana will probably explain that a little bit more, trauma is inevitable in life. Like we all are gonna face trauma in either way, like either at work, either in our personal life, either like there's no way that not even Asana and me, we are not exempt of this. We are also humans. And this is why I want you guys to remember this. When we talk about the inflammation, we're talking about the immunity system. It's interconnected. Why? Because I want to show you this one. Because when there is a damage, like I ignored my exhaustion because I'm pushing through, I wanna succeed in this new country. I want to, this type of beliefs. Then it could occur within years or months before it is perceived. And there could be a damage, failure, or in tissues as well. And because of the pro-inflammatory and the effects of this injury that could occur in the cells when we experience, for instance, the chronic stress. Then the inflammatory markers happen, which normally like cortisol. When we have high cortisol, which is the hormone of stress, normally the blood glucose also raises, and it's interconnected. So someone who experiences higher stress is someone that also experiences more insulin spikes, for instance. And there is an association between having a stress or chronic stress and also insulin or diabetes even. So I want you guys to take this into account, because normally we're not aware of it, like the impact that maybe a slow drops or changes in our body or thoughts could have long term, because we think that they are like, yeah, just eating like, oh, like not being aware of my eating or not sleeping enough. It's okay because I am just pushing through, right? But if we ignore that these habits sustain in time, this can cause any different type of diseases. Okay. And habits that promotes inflammation. I'm going through them. Lack of exercise, lack of restorative rest, high percentages of body and visceral fat, alcohol and tobacco, chronic stress, malnutrition, not having enough um, um, nutrients, whether macro or micro, and imbalance in the microbiota, which are the the intestinal microbiota in particular, the microorganisms that lives with us in our intestines. There are some crucial elements, and I want you guys to take this into account, especially if you're facing a lot of stress right now within your work or life. And first, ashwagandha, it's a nutrient that have been found that decreases cortisol, balance this pro-anti-inflammatory process. Magnesium as well, omega-3, the vitamin D3 as well, which also we find it in not only in supplements, we also can take it from the sun. If we don't have sun in the city we are, I suggest having supplement for sure. This when it's any supplement recommendation, I always suggest this to talk them for the amounts, to talk with your nutritionist or in consultation. Turmeric, ideally ingested with pepper, which makes the turmeric increase the absorption of it, and zinc. So these are the crucial nutrients to make a more resilient immune system. And I would like to know if there is any question, guys, till now. Sodne, Mohammed, any questions? No, seems like we're good. Okay, then I'm gonna let Asana to continue here.
Sure. Could I share the screen?
Yes, sure. Okay.
Yeah. Mhm. Yes. So we're gonna discuss all this knowledge that Daniela shared. It's nothing if it is not implemented in your life, basically. So we will continue talking about the environment and how to implement all this knowledge. How do you think we could implement this to your environment, so your environment won't kind of sabotage you and work with you, not against you? How do you think you could implement this knowledge to your life personally?
I think the meal timing is something to be taken into account.
Sure. Nice. Okay, let's go on and cover this all one by one. And let's start with the physical environment. As I already mentioned, what's around, it's what is around you on the daily basis. How do you think you could arrange this to your nutritional goals? Maybe to avoid, like in this picture, a lot of chips, if that's what you binge eating for example, how to arrange this space to make it basically easier. Because I've heard from the last session and from this one from time to time that the idea that it's just easier. So how to make it easier for you to eat what you want, and more difficult to, whether it's order or go out, how to make it easier? What do you think?
It's not something I do, but I think one thing would be to have things prepared beforehand, or some of the ingredients prepared beforehand, because then you don't have, I mean, if you are low, you will not have to cook, or have less cooking, have less chopping. Maybe that could be beneficial.
That's a great idea, meal prepping. So basically, whenever you are feeling not low, you prepare for these moments where you are exhausted, when some force majeure thing happen. You get prepared, and when you are like cheerful and the sun is shining and birds are singing, and you just chop on those vegetables and put them into the freezer. Of course, I've heard that it's not ideal, but it's definitely better than the alternative, or on binge eating those chips or whatever it could be, especially when it's done regularly. Just plan it out whenever you see the sun. Like, make it a trigger. You see the sun, you chop the vegetables or something, or I don't know, create a trigger for yourself. What could trigger you, for example, whenever you feel good? Or like what could be trigger for you, for example, Sudney?
So before I answer this question, the previous answer, this is not something I do, but what I actually do and what works for me is to have my shopping done beforehand. Like if it's time to eat and I don't have all the ingredients, I will very likely just go buy something easy to eat. So what actually works for me, and I really do, is get stuff, buy stuff beforehand on time. Okay. So what was your question? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, what could be your trigger basically to go shopping? Because otherwise it could get after and after, maybe after a regular thing. For example, you got over with a job and then you go shopping. Just so you don't forget, because otherwise you would have been doing that all along. What could be your new trigger to go shopping?
I don't know. I have no idea, to be honest.
Maybe not having time to go shopping, or like prioritizing another aspect of your life, which could also happen.
Trigger for shopping.
And when do you think, like, knowing your schedule, knowing your work, when would it be nice for you to go shopping? Convenient, I mean.
Yeah, weekends, because I have more free time. So I'm less worried about work, and yeah, weekends works the best.
Great. When exactly in weekends?
When in weekends? Oh.
Is it Saturday 12? Is it maybe Sunday? I'm just demonstrating here for those of you who are watching on YouTube. I'm just demonstrating here. Just weekends it's not enough. It is usually to make the habits last. We need some exact time.
Maybe after like finishing, I wake up, I have my routine, breakfast, and maybe cleaning, and just after that, I have to think more. I don't have any answer right away.
Okay, sure. You will
But
know
I
what to think. Mhm. Sorry.
No, I
Yeah.
understand the idea is to have it, make it obvious, like when exactly, not leave it vague as a vague thing.
Yeah.
I understand what you mean.
Okay, great. Miser, what do you think could be your triggers, or what environmental changes could you make?
You mean in general, in order to stick to a healthy
So
diet?
healthy food is accessible, easily accessible to you, and these foods, the foods that you're binge eating, may be less accessible.
First of all, not to have a lot of options of unhealthy food at my place. On the other side, to have the healthy options being exposed to me, like maybe to have the banana at one point where I can see it. Um, not to leave the sweets, in a place where it's exposed, maybe just to hide it in the closet. I will know about its, place, but it's not always seen by me, maybe.
Okay, sure. As in this photo, the fruits are just on the counter, so it is. And sometimes having fruits chopped could also help. Having them peeled or chopped, so it is already exposed, and the other things hidden, I think sounds like a plan. Of course, another step could be not buying them at all and choosing some other options. But yeah, that could be a first step. And about the digital environment, what do you think? Are there any temptations, or how's your digital environment? Does it affect you a lot?
Me personally, no. I don't. I don't think so.
Okay. But those of you who are watching, if that's something that is your soft spot, think about what you can do instead. For example, get hooked on nice cooking videos or something. I mean, there are many options. Social environment. I think that's a huge thing. What are friends, or maybe some of you live with roommates or will live with roommates pretty soon, and they will affect you on some levels, and you can affect them as well with maybe some healthy eating habits. So yeah, it's just a reminder for you to consider it, as well as what you eat at work or in some other environments where you have deadlines, sleep schedule. Daniela covered a lot about sleep and scheduling, and so I won't cover it here that much. About sensory, we have also discussed, but if your roommate is cooking, or your husband, or whatever, just to think about it. And we talked a lot about the cognitive environment, about the beliefs you have. And I guess what I want to leave you with is a reminder to track your thoughts. Basically, the situation could be the same. Let's say these 4 people came after work tired, and the situation is the same, but their thoughts are different. For example, one person could think, I already ate something unhealthy today. Okay, whatever, I'll just start again tomorrow. it's probably then she will feel, I don't know, a bit guilt and joy and a mixture of these feelings. And the reaction, she could binge eat at night, maybe. Basically, the other person is like, here we go again, and I wouldn't stick to it. I never do. And her emotions could be rage with herself, so she could feel angry, and the reaction could be also, basically you could see the reaction. But my point is here, we could have the same situation, but we could react to the situation differently. And the thoughts, that is the key thing. Not that we need to somehow control the thoughts just naturally appear because we have different beliefs. Because beliefs, the core beliefs, then there are assumptions, biases, rules, whatever, and through these lenses we are viewing it all, whether it is like some pink, some white lenses, some dark depressive lenses. So beliefs are kind of the lenses. Whatever beliefs about the foods you have, they will influence your behavior, whether it's I'm a loser, I cannot stay consistent, or it is the others that I kind of explained to you. So to get to these core beliefs and then to kind of get awareness, and then teach ourselves that some other more accurate beliefs, not limiting beliefs, but accurate, we must identify them first. And it could happen through thoughts while you are basically tracking them and then saying, aha, so why is it? What does it say, like this thought about the world, myself, or people? For example, this, I just need something right now. Food is the only thing that will calm me down. So what does it say about me? It could say like, I am really dependent. I cannot function. I have low willpower, or something along the line. So you ask yourself this question. So yeah, tracking thoughts. What I want you to leave this session with is trying to get awareness, firstly, about what beliefs you have through thoughts, and about the environment. How could I shape my environment to work for me, not against me, to implement actually these things to make my goals come true, basically. Anyways, Daniela?
Well, as I mentioned in the last session, if you guys need or require a consultation or a 3 months program, you can just scan it and obtain your 50% of discount, only for the people who is being part of this bootcamp.
Yeah. And you can sign up for personal and group therapy with me to get a deeper understanding of yourselves, your triggers, your patterns, and most importantly, how to implement this all to your life. So we will be happy to see you next week, where we're going to talk about like the minimum viable habits when your life shifts. Maybe you're getting a new roommate, or you're changing apartments, or you're changing cities and countries. In these uncertain times, how to have like a minimal package to hold on to get you through your life healthily. And yeah, see you. Thank you for your support. If you want to donate, totally optional, but highly appreciated. Thank you. And
thank you so much. Thank you for being also committed to yourself, to this learning process. We know that this is not a 5 minutes or 1 minute 30 seconds video, right? And we highly appreciate your attention to this. And also we want to see a real impact of this time that we are investing on you guys as well. So please make sure that you are working with the table, the tab table, the scale. We are going to leave in the WhatsApp group some word as well for the next session. And yeah, thank you so much for your time. Have a beautiful week.
Yeah.
Thank you to both of you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey.
Hey.
Let
Yeah.
me finish the record, okay?
Sure.